Here's a video I've been working on since about March. Close to it, at least. I had the idea for it back then, but I've done absolutely nothing with it since. When the Pokemon challenges were really picking up on YouTube, it was kind of a rush to be more original than other people. Obviously, anybody can make any type of video they want, and just because content is similar doesn't mean either party was involved in an act of theft. But you wanted to differentiate yourself from other people. So I drifted towards Pokemon Stadium. There weren't many videos in Stadium back then, and there really aren't many now. Probably for good reason. You can't capture HD footage of it easily. It's way easier to get Game Boy ROMs working on a computer, at least for a computer illiterate person like me, and there's no solo run options, which was kind of the whole point of these challenges. I loved Pokemon Stadium. I made this video on the minigames way back before my channel grew in numbers, and getting the Pokemon Stadium N64 bundle is one of the most vivid memories of my childhood I have. I remember it even came with this promo card of Meowth. Probably don't have that card anymore, but it's okay. So I wanted to make a challenge that we could do in Stadium. I wanted to see if you could beat the Gym Leader Castle in Pokemon Stadium 1 with the 6 lowest base stat total Pokemon. That's an intense setup for sure. And before we go any further, no, this is not possible. It's not possible. It's never gonna happen. I even modified the challenge a little bit, and it's just not gonna happen, sorry. But there's still some interesting stuff to talk about. So could this have been a 30-second video? Sure. But now that you know the answer to if it's possible, don't you want to know why it's not possible? Huh? Wait, no! And once I learned what 5 of those Pokemon were, I immediately gave up. For a minute. Let me set the stage for you. I would have been using a team of Caterpie, Metapod, Weedle, Kakuna, Magikarp, and Zubat. I don't think I even need to say anything further. Poison Sting and Tackle were the only moves that the Pokemon other than Zubat were going to contribute. So like I said earlier, I modified it a little bit. I went to the next 5 lowest base stat total Pokemon. Zubat was just unlucky enough to stay. The next 5 are Spearow, Pidgey, Rattata, which weren't really that surprising, and Jigglypuff and Diglett, which were surprising. Just for those that want to know, Spearow has the highest base stat total of these with a total of 231. Nidoran male, Ekans, and Nidoran female came dangerously close with totals of 233 through 235 respectively. Honestly, this isn't a miserable team. And since these are rental Pokemon, they have pretty good moves. Really good moves, actually. If you didn't know, the way they incentivized you to get the Game Boy games was by giving you rental Pokemon with terrible moves. Let's take a look at the Diglett we'll be using and Dugtrio, also from Gym Leader Castle. Dugtrio doesn't have a bad moveset by any means, but it's not a great one. Substitute? Not that smart. They both have Rock Slide. Diglett, however, has Earthquake, so it does the power of Dig, but in one turn. And Diglett has Fissure. Even a low accuracy one-hit KO move is better than nothing. But the stats are just not good for these lower evolution Pokemon. I would even go as far as saying that Charizard is notoriously known for having terrible moves. It has Fire Spin. But back to the team, the moves aren't bad, but the stats are not great. I guess that's what we get for choosing the 6 lowest base stat totals from usable Pokemon. I guess there's not really any rules to state here either. I'm just using these rental Pokemon in battle, there's no items in Stadium, and they can't evolve. So after looking at the video file, I actually started this on April 13th. So yeah, it's been cooking for a while. I registered all the Pokemon I needed so that I wouldn't have to manually select the teams over and over and set out for the impossible. The very first battle was a very lucky turn of events. This bug catcher has the entire Weedle and Caterpie lines, so even if he picked Butterfree and Beedrill, he at least had one useless Pokemon. Weedle was faster than Spearow, somehow, and poisoned me. I went for Drill Peck and didn't one-shot it. Okay, not the start I was hoping for, but it's alright. On the very next turn, Weedle went down. And the second up was Metapod, so luckily this was an easy win. And his last Pokemon out was Beedrill, so my first real challenge was about to take place. But for some reason, Spearow's Drill Peck did more damage to Beedrill than it did to Weedle. I don't even want to begin to think about how that's possible. And this Beedrill had a Hyper Beam for some reason, and it took down Spearow, but Diglett's Rock Slide was quad effective on it. And it only had 20 HP left. So I started thinking maybe this wasn't going to be such a terrible run. And I'm sure you've noticed that there isn't any battlefield. I think my computer doesn't have a strong enough graphics card for an N64 game. Like I said, I'm computer illiterate, so I'm not sure what's happening, but we'll deal with it. The second team was another one weak to my group of flyers, so I got some lucky breaks. But this was a battle where I learned how really weak my team was. I led with Jigglypuff since it has Psychic. And Psychic in Gen 1 is busted, so that's great. Wrong. Jigglypuff does not have a great special stat. But even then, Psychic should be doing way more than it does here. This was kind of infuriating. Because Bulbasaur kept using Mega Drain, Jigglypuff went down first. Zubat finished it off, and Zubat's Double Edge was the best chance of attacking I had on the Ekans that followed. Double Edge did take it down, and my opponent's Zubat followed. I confused it, got a critical Double Edge, letting me take it down the very next turn. So that was a little more frustrating of a battle. But don't worry, the third battle actually wasn't all that bad. The third guy's team actually looks decent too. Like legitimately decent. Had I not gotten a lucky Mega Drain critical hit on his Diglett with Zubat, I would have lost on turn 2. But Mega Drain wasn't enough, and Zubat went down the next turn regardless, leaving Digster over there with 4 HP. And since this is Gen 1 and Diglett is a speed machine, every single slash was a critical hit. Rattata felt a low yellow health before beating Digster, only for Dugster to come out and completely overkill with a Hyper Beam. It was a critical hit Hyper Beam. Look, this makes me mad, but also how extra these nicknames are. That's the real injustice happening here. My Diglett was completely outclassed. I was hoping I could capitalize on the turn Dugster had to recharge, and I got a critical slash. And then it mimicked, so I got another free turn, taking it down. And his last Pokemon was Pidgey. Oh, sorry, Pidgeant, I guess. Rock Slide took it to yellow health, and just used Wing Attack, doing a little less than a third of my health. I opted out for Slash so I wouldn't miss a turn with Rock Slide's low accuracy, and won the third battle. I had hope for the rest of the run. And then that hope quickly faded and died and got stomped on, in that order. Brock led with Onix. My Diglett's Earthquake took it to yellow health, then barely hung on from an Earthquake from Onix. I tried to hit with Fissure, but that was a no-go. Since Zubat is immune to Earthquake, I had hoped to do some big damage with him, got hit with Bind, then Brock swapped Onix for Vulpix. I landed a Confuse Ray and then hit with Toxic. I didn't think I'd last long enough for Toxic to take it down, but I had to try. I swapped over to Rattata and barely hung on with 3 HP from Flamethrower. And then a quick attack and no more confusion ended Rattata. Zubat had only 33 health left. I wish I could tell you that it miraculously defeated the rest of the team, but we all know that didn't happen. And since we're in Gym Leader Castle, a loss here means that I had to go back to the beginning of the 4 battles. I beat the teams again, got to Brock, and made a save state. I'm not even going to try to do some high and mighty approach where save states are cheating. I had beaten those 3 trainers, and having to go through them again would just be extra pain on my end. Sorry, but not sorry. Then I beat Brock with the most unusual team of all time. Diglett, Zubat, and Pidgey. Yeah, didn't see that one coming. I tried for the quick Fissure on Onix, missed, took an Earthquake, tried again, and got him. That's what's up. 8 HP remaining, but at least that's 1 extra Pokemon. And I thought, why not? Went for Fissure on Cubone, and missed. So much for Diglett. But that's when Pidgey came out to play. I played it a little cheap and used Double Team. Cubone still got 1 hit on me, and it didn't even make it to the end of the battle. After 3 double teams, I went for Toxic. After poisoning it, Brock swapped to Graveler, and I pulled another double team. And I'm not sure why I did this, but I went for Fly. Look, I recorded this in April. I think this might have been a misclick on my controller. I do not remember. Luckily, Rock Slide missed me, letting me use Toxic the very next turn. But Rock Slide did hit after I poisoned it, and I was left with just Zubat. All those double teams, and they only afforded me a few extra turns. The good news was both his Pokemon were poisoned, and he swapped out to Cubone and I confused it. And Zubat had Mega Drain, so I had a super effective move, and could heal some. But I used Confuse Ray thinking he would swap to Graveler. Can never read the computer. The next turn, he did swap to Graveler. I had already gone for Mega Drain, and it did way more than I expected. Then another Mega Drain took down Graveler. I just had to deal with Cubone. Confuse Ray to start out. It was taking confusion damage and poison damage. Then I got a critical Mega Drain. Then I got paralyzed by Body Slam. I held my breath, fell to 33 HP. Then landed Mega Drain, taking down Brock. And yes, you can beat Gym Leader Castle with the 6 lowest base stat total Pokemon that aren't completely useless. And you can only beat the first Gym Leader Castle. So here's the thing. You can tell how much time is left in this video. I said it at the beginning. Can't beat the entire thing. The first trainer in Misty's portion of the game had a much tougher team. Literally, it seemed like his entire team was just all around more competent in terms of AI, moveset, stats, everything. The closest I ever got after tons of attempts was taking down one of his Pokemon. It's not possible. It's hard enough with rental Pokemon as it is, but these rental Pokemon? Yeah. Nah. So here's my deal with you people. I hate to leave it on such a negative note of defeat, so let's take a step down. I'm gonna take this team, the exact same team, and go through the Petite Cup with them. They'll stand a much better chance of not getting absolutely wrecked, while still making for an interesting challenge. Let me use this time to plug my Twitter so you can see updates on that run. @CoachMaxYouTube is what you're looking for. Hopefully it doesn't take nearly as much time to accomplish. Hopefully. Maybe I'll see y'all next April with this one. There's certain points in some of these challenge runs where you need to learn that accepting defeat is okay. It doesn't mean you're a quitter. You just know what's within your abilities. Except, I'm totally a quitter with this one. If you think you can take on this challenge and make it farther than me, go for it. I'll give you a shout out, take you to dinner, catch a movie, whatever. It's not possible. Change my mind. Thank you for checking out the video today, and I hope you enjoyed everything. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date on more content, and make sure you like the video because that helps me out a literal ton. Until next time, see you later!